All right. We are gathered here at this garden, beautiful garden. It's Kumawiki. Atukona editor mtetezi. Before I tell you much, why don't I just allow her to tell you who she is?
Okay, first of all, I want to appreciate the day. It has been awesome with
Amazing.
these beautiful girls. And also, you know, when you share feminist principle, you feel the touch. Manzi. My name is Editor Ochieng. I come from Kepera. I'm a mother of 2 intelligent, beautiful girls. And the future is feminist for us.
Yeah, so editor and I share feminist ideologies. We've gone to protest together, we've organized together, and now we are here at Kibera, wondering how can we make it better during these COVID times? How can we as feminists ensure that the rights of women are protected during this era? So tell us about Feminists for Peace, Rights and Justice Center.
So Feminists for Peace, Rights and Justice Center are registered in 2018, but before that, we started our activism in 2016, and our activism was a young woman activist from Kibera, because we realized there was a difference. And in 2016, we were known Kibera Young Women Network by then. So Kibera Young Women Network, we came together to amplify our voices as young women, because it was really difficult by then because we were under 30, and being under 30 in the slums as a woman is something else. So we were looking at representation, we were looking at gender-based violence, we were looking at sexual violence, we were looking at different things, and then we realized some of these things were done deliberately. So we had to come together. First of all, we understood ourselves, and then we realized we had a common agenda and we had to amplify our voices. And then in 2018, we said, no, we need something strong a bit. And being the leader in the group, I realized I was a feminist, you know, because I read about feminists and I was like, oh my God, I was born a feminist, and there is no need for me to be silent, and there was no any other reason for me to deny feminism. And then I adopted feminism, and we decided, let us register this group. And coming together, the group that formed Feminists for Peace, Rights and Justice Center, by then, most of us were survivors of sexual violence. And this is the time we needed to come back in this community and end sexual and gender-based violence. Apart from that, we're looking at our leadership, because some of us are dropout, some of us were hopeless, and we needed to bring this woman back. And most of the time we make criticism and looking at religion, and we're like, Jesus is there for Christian, Muhammad is there for Muslim, then who is there for women movement? Then it is us feminist women who are there for women movement, to liberate women, and to liberate women radically using intersectional approach. So we do different activities passionately, and we found Feminist Center. We found Feminist Center with our time, with our knowledge and skills, and this is how we liberate women around Kisumondogo village and also Katokera village in Kibera. So we have mentorship, and in mentorship we use different approach, because in our mentorship we bring parents also to educate their children so that they can own the process, because for us we've never been funded. Then how do you ensure that community is adopting this idea? Community is understanding that mentorship is important for girl child, because when we sit down in Feminist Center and we speak about sexuality, which is a big debate, because we want girls to embrace diversity, they need to understand we have different types of women. We have lesbian women, there is nothing wrong with that. My daughter last year asked me, she reads a lot, and she came across and then she's like, Mama, who is a lesbian? Believe me, I was really happy because she asked the right person. And I was like, if she went to school and asked that, it could be something else. And I had to normalize lesbianism to my daughter, because the normal is a choice. So I had to tell her, lesbian is any woman who is dating any woman, and it is okay for women to date other women.
Amen.
So around SRH, because also girls need to understand their bodies. When I was growing up, my body was not editors, it was somebody else. And it has been a struggle for me to bring up my body, to own my body, to invest on my body, to have this voice. It has really taken me a lot of years, because you grow up in a society whereby it is men. Like if I'm married, then your vagina is for a man, your breasts are for men, your brain, your heart, everything else. So for us, we are doing a different kind of mentorship for girls to understand you are entitled to your body. Nobody should decide for you, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're divorced, whether you are widow. Your body needs to be your body. You need to decide on your body.
And we are talking about feminism, and feminism is such a contested issue, especially here in Africa. People are saying, oh, feminists are people who hate men, feminists are the women who are destroying marriages. What is your take on that?
There is no problem if an individual, as a woman who is a feminist, is hating men. She has a reason to hate those men.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story. I don't have a problem with us. Because even me, I've wronged, some people don't like me, and I've never wronged them. They just hate me for nothing, not because of my feminism. So for me, I don't have a problem with that, because again, I'm looking at different, I'm looking at it differently. Yes, again, for me, hate is not an African culture. So if people will hate each other because of how they look, because they're feminists, again, it's wrong. But I don't have a problem with that at all. When one boy you hate somebody, you have a reason with that.
Yeah.
But again, how can we solve our issue so that we can come on a slightly level? Because at the end of the day, we'll never agree like 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
Some will say 1 + 1 is equals to 11. So for me, I'm looking at the world differently, and I'm looking at also the end product for me is peace. Because if you're going to bring peace in the world without hate, it is something that I'm going to support. But calling feminists women who hate men, that is up to those people. Because I know myself, I don't have a problem if I hate you. If you wronged me yesterday, I don't have a choice because I'm angry at you. At that point, I'll hate you. I'm a human being. What are emotions for? So tunataka kujifanya sisi ni wanyama. If you are a human being, you are emotional in nature. You see, calling us toxic feminists, I think feminists should be comfortable with that name. This is a name we need to adopt.
Yeah.
Because for real, I'm toxic. I'm toxic because I'm defending my rights.
Yeah.
I'm defending my rights because somebody else was taking advantage and oppressing me. But now because I'm defending my rights, they're not comfortable. Let me remain a toxic feminist.
Yeah.
You see, calling me names because I'm a feminist, talking evil about feminism, it is giving us power. So again, we need to be so resilient and get into this movement and show the other people the power that we have, the power within. That is when we are going to end all this form of oppression. So I'm telling feminists, on it, on toxic feminism, on feminists that hate men, on lesbian women, all those women are our women. And it's upon us how we are taking that, because the power is within. And feminism is the only movement that is going to liberate women in the world.
Totally. Now, I've spent a day with editor in Kibera, and in this day I've seen you going in your community. You're very in touch with your community. You have people painting murals to end gender-based violence. You talk to everyone on the streets. By the way, she talks to everyone on the streets, and I'm like, who is this woman? And so I want to go back to 2019 when you vied for MP
elections.
Yes, in Kibera. How did that go?
For me, that point was a learning experience for me, because somebody had to do it. When Ken Okoth died, may he rest in peace, we realized there were no women by then in Kibera. So I had to call for a small meeting for women that I believed, and I was like, we need to get into this space. We need to venture and explain into this space so that we can learn, and also we can learn the language of politics. And most of the women that I believed in were like, no, I cannot join politics. At the end of the day, I had to go and sleep and think about it, and then I had to build my courage, and then I said, let me try. So for me, everything was a learning experience. Every day I used to learn new things. But what I learned the most is politics is deliberately violent for women, so that women cannot get in that space.
Yeah.
Politics is so expensive for women, because most of the time, especially in the communities that we come from, in Kibera, in Korokocho, women cannot afford money for campaign.
Yeah.
Campaign is damn expensive. Yes. Campaign has a lot of expectations. So for me, I really learned a lot, and I built my courage, and I went outside there, and I had to share my manifesto with different people so that they can understand we have new agendas for this world. As young women, we can make it work. We can go to the parliament and enforce these policies that some people are just seated on. But you see, as a radical feminist, also people took it so differently, because people were like, if she gets into the parliament, then you're not going to have even a space. then our women are going to sit on us. And I was like, it's okay if that is how they're taking me, and I cannot relent. Right now, I'm still a radical feminist because I believe in women. I believe in women power. I believe that women can get into the parliament and women can bring change. Women like Martha Karua has shown that. Women like Charity Ngilu, Mildred Babona, and even the late Wangari Maathai has shown that as women we can get into the parliament and we can come back in our communities and develop our communities together. So I also saw, I also experienced threats indirectly and directly from my children, in my family, because I came with a new party, that was the Kweli party, and Kibera is the ODM strong zone, but at the same time also the ODM people who are so in a bigger position in Kibera were like, no, it's okay if Edita will come here to campaign, she's our daughter and she has a vision, so let her campaign. Also that support gave me a lot of courage, because it was really difficult even for somebody like Mariga to come in Sarangombe to campaign. But personally I was campaigning because first it was really difficult, but they had to sit among themselves and say, no, Edita needs to come back here and campaign, because we've seen what she's done in the community and we know her passion in the community.
Will you vie again?
Yes, we're vying again, and we're vying in different style. I'm looking at in Sarangombe, I'm coming back as a member of county assembly because it was really tiresome. As a member of parliament, you need a lot of money. Kibera is so huge, you need to convince people. And I'm also a single parent. Sometimes you need also to sit with your daughter because you need also to keep your home running. As a mother, because as a single parent, my children are connected to me so much. They need to see me every day, every single other day. So I'm coming as a member of county assembly. And at the same time, I'm also looking at who is in the ballot. Is there any other woman? If there will be any other woman whom I feel she's really capable more than me, then I'm going to support that woman, and I'm going to mobilize, I'm going to use my resources on that woman, so that at least we have the second female member of county assembly in Sarangombe.
Amazing. Now let's talk about Femingarisha. This is a product that has been online all the time. Editor is talking to women, telling them, come buy Femingarisha. What is Femingarisha?
Femingarisha. I just love the name. Femingarisha is a detergent. It's a product that came out of women, some of the women who have experienced gender-based violence. And during Corona, because I was working also door to door, it was really difficult moment for me, because when I was going to these homes, I found out that so many women were suffering because they didn't have money. So many women were sleeping hungry because they didn't have money. And so many women were staying in a very violent relationship because they didn't have an option. So in the start of Corona, we decided let us come with something that could sustain our group, and also something that we can bring other women to join the process so that they can sustain themselves to be financially independent. So I was looking around and I realized soap is something that is mostly used at home. And to fight Corona, you need to wash your hands with soap. Because when you talk about sanitizers are not antiviral, they're antibacterial. Yes. Then they don't kill COVID-19. So the only way we can manage COVID-19 is washing our hands with soap and water. So we decided with the basic ideas that we had, and there is this young woman who's called Yasmin. She's an executive officer of superb organization here in Kibera, and she had some small skills. So she came, she taught her the skills on how to make soap, and then we picked from there. So when UNFPA came to visit us, they saw potential and they decided to invest in us. So investing in us, it was a very huge opportunity for us, because they really invested in us, from training, buying the chemicals, branding and marketing, and then also paying our rent right now where we are storing our Femingarisha products. And I want to thank UNFPA for that, because the future is promising when women has money. So after the training, we had to make our own soap, and purposely it is to prevent women on experiencing gender-based violence, to respond on issues of gender-based violence. That is why we came together, to ensure that we have Femingarisha in our mtaa, and also selling this product so that women can have money in their pockets not in the bank,
Yeah.
in their pockets. When they have this money, they can invest on their bodies. They can invest on their health. These women can invest on even their mental health, because this is a struggle. And Femingarisha is changing the world. Femingarisha is bringing a new approach. Femingarisha is giving women voice. Femingarisha is promising. Femingarisha for Kibera is the future.
Yeah.
Because I believe that if the world will invest on women today, especially women who are coming from a poor background, then we are changing the world.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the only alternative that we have. If you want to meet sustainable development goals, then give women money to invest. And initially also I realized most of the time in Kibera, people have been telling women, save and loan. And I question so many institutions, why don't you tell these women? When I was young, I was only 21, tell them, save, loan, and invest.
Yeah.
3 things.
Yes.
Because also we need money. We need to loan. We need to get these loans and invest on our business. We need to save for our future. That is how also we can equip women, and we can build a new world whereby women has money, and this is how we can also drive the agenda of gender equality. Because if women don't have money, they're going to remain behind. When you have money, then it's upon you, whenever you have money, now to walk on the same space that men are walking in, to fill that space and change the narratives in the world.
Now, 2021 to 2030 is the African Women Decade of being involved in policy that involve finance and economics. And so many women do not know about finances and economics.
Yeah.
So many women do not own land. Actually, according to research, just 1% of women own land in Kenya at least. In the world, women are 60 of the poorest people in the world. 60% of them are women. And now we are in this decade where women are supposed to be mentored about financial decision, investing, capacity, coming up with businesses that can improve women's life. How do you see that working with Femingarisha?
First of all, you're right, because even here in Africa, the face of poverty, when you go to internet, is a woman, is a black woman.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel so sad, because anyway, that is the saddest reality. And also, if you, in terms of research, sometimes we spend a lot on research without investing on the reality. The reality is women don't own anything. The reality is women don't have money. Women are really suffering. That is the reality. We don't need statistics to prove that. We don't need to say 80% of women are suffering. Because for me, one woman is many women. We need also to change that narrative. When we are suffering, all of us were suffering. When I'm suffering, all of you are suffering. Because when I'm suffering, I'm making me vulnerable. So it's upon us also to change this narrative of waiting for 3 million women are suffering in Africa, it's a crisis, then we need to react. No, we need to be so proactive on all these matters of development. And I'm looking at Femingarisha, and I see global world for Femingarisha, because right now, yes, we're really experiencing different challenges, and we are managing, and all the time we live every day with Femingarisha with hope. The only thing that we have today that gives us power is hope for Femingarisha. How do we improve our products? And for the reality, every day we take different feedback, and all the time I would love to see negative criticism deliberately, because I want to hear people saying this soap is lacking. And for me, this is the greatest opportunity that we're having, because if this soap is lacking, then we need also to put something else on that soap for the future. And Femingarisha has a future. Femingarisha is changing lives today. So many women are going to earn from this Femingarisha, and we are going in different places, like this year to December. Again with UNFPA, we want to work with 3 informal settlements. We're going to be in Kibera, and Kibera is going to have 7 shops. We're going to have 2 shops in Madare. We're going to have 2 shops in Korokocho and 1 shop in Kawangware. So Femingarisha is growing every other day. So because we started in Kibera, so again we want to have a lot of information. We want to have improved and quality products. So when we are going somewhere else, then we empower or equip other young women with the same knowledge and the skills that we have. Because also we believe that if I know how to make soap today, are in a very quality soap today, then it's upon me as a transformative leader, who is a feminist leader, again to ensure that another woman has the same information and even better information that I was taught. I have to research, I have to get into this market, and again I'm looking at how do we make soap that are natural, because Africa is nature. How do we go, how do we research, and out of these reliefs, out of these weeds that every day we have weeds everywhere. Weeds are appreciating if we can invest and research on these weeds to make our own soap that cannot affect us, that doesn't have a lot of chemicals. So Femingarisha is life for us because it's going to change a lot of things. It's going to change a lot of narratives. We need people to invest in Femingarisha. We need people to purchase Femingarisha and look at different life.
And I just purchased my Femingarisha shampoo, hand wash, and dishwash. So you out there, go and purchase Femingarisha. You can call editor or reach out to anyone near editor, me included, and I will direct you to her. So now, as feminists, all of us have dreams. All of us want to see a change in the world. What is the one thing that you want to see change in this world, especially in Kenya?
For me in Kenya, I'll just go back to Sustainable Development Goal number 5. Because this is the problem, and it's a problem that is deliberate. It is intentional, because gender equality is practical. It is really doesn't have issue, but people have been so problematic to fear the power of women, to fear when women say I don't like it, to fear when women say this is how my future looks like. When women says I have 10 million in my account. This is the fear that has been there globally. So I'm looking at a world whereby women are free, women are liberated in terms of their social life, in terms of when you say something, as editor I need to respect that. When you say I don't like it, then my brain needs to click like, one boy doesn't like this thing, and it is okay. She loves this thing, it is okay. One boy is crazy, it is okay. One boy loves this, it is okay, without judging women. In terms of economically, we need women to have money, to have voices, to come with the different voices in the community, to develop their communities. We need women to get into political space, to change these outdated policies, to come back and enforce policies in our communities. We need women to get into, to invest into environment. Because when you invest into the environment as a woman, then we have food. We have organic food in Africa. And again, it is going to help us to reduce issues like food insecurity, issues like cancer, and so many other diseases that are imposed into Africa. So for me, I'm looking at a world whereby gender equality is real. Personally, I'm practicing gender equality, and I want to admit it is really expensive. It is really expensive because I come from a very patriarchal community whereby my father used to provide when I was a child, and at some point when I was dating this man, he used to provide, and that was the normal. And I decided, no, I need to sacrifice a lot. I need to face the world. I need to face the real thing. And I decided, let me come in this, let me do things differently and practice gender equality. I practice gender equality 100%. And believe me, it is really expensive, and there is no problem when it is expensive. It's upon us as women to invest on other women so that they cannot feel what we are feeling right now. And we are the generation that is going to change a lot of narratives. We don't have an option. The only option that we have, it is to change all these narratives that have been fucking women around the world.
You heard it. You've heard her. You've heard the maverick woman, editor Ochieng. And let me tell you, gender equality is expensive, yes, as she said, but it's a necessity. When we live in a world where a woman cannot do anything just because she possesses a vagina or identifies as a woman, that's wrong. That is a crime. So feminists till death, and we are going to see a woman president before we die in Kenya.
We've seen already. Tanzania.
Yeah, in Kenya. I want one in Kenya. I don't know. I mean, Tanzania, Ethiopia, everyone has a president who is a woman, but not in Kenya. So I need a woman in Kenya who is president. So yeah. Have a nice Friday. This is Feminist Friday on Gemini Spice Magazine. Join us next time as we interview somebody else who is maverick and who is shining light in her community. Bye-bye.